Engineers Inspector summary video. Here we are in DC, and we have a fire escape here that comes out of these two windows, comes down here. It's a pre-existing non-conforming structure, ladder down to a pre-existing non-conforming balcony that needs to be widened, then existing stairs to the ground, and then out the back way to an alley. Okay, so fire escape must be structurally sound, must be kept painted. This one has not been kept painted, and right now it's not structurally sound enough for us to proceed immediately to a load test. I will talk about some of the issues that you need to do. So anything that I'm about to point out needs to be worked on, and then you can proceed to a load test. Or if you refurbish a significant amount of this fire escape to avoid the load test, then that means structural connections, bolts, and fasteners are 100% going to be replaced, and you can avoid the load test. And every welded connection on this fire escape needs to be backed up with a bolt to avoid having to x-ray or load test those. So let's start here. First question at hand is, it looks like there's locks on these. You're not supposed to have any locks. So a lot of times, to avoid the lock issue on the inside, mesh the outside so nobody can put their hands in. And then when these open up, and this one opens up that way, it shouldn't obstruct anybody coming through. So we have a pre-existing railing. The railing is very low. The city official will determine whether or not they want the railing to be a minimum of 36. This looks like it's around 30 inches high. All the connections that are welded need to be reinforced. Major structural needs to be reinforced. So anytime there's a welded connection, we got to put a bolt in there, whether it's a temporary repair or for the load test, or a full repair for the load test. Without a load test, 100% of every welded connection must be backed up with a bolt. Otherwise, they have to be x-rayed or load tested. There's just no getting around the welded connections. So, getting back must be kept painted. Fire escapes older than 1978 are subject to the EPA lead law, so only a licensed renovator can scrape and paint this fire escape, and a structural guy can fix it. Any and all connections where water can accumulate, let's silicone shut those things so that there's no ice jacking or rust jacking. As you can see here, this is a catwalk system going over the roof. Any and all welded connections, back it up with a bolt. All joints sealed. Seal all the joints here. Then, a lot of times, what you'd want here, this is pretty dangerous, you do need a double there, and if possible, put in a ring here to basically start you on the descent down. But that platform needs to be a double platform in order to receive this catwalk. I mean this ladder. I go down this ladder, and what happens is I have to step on the rail in order to get off into the other part. So that'll conclude the catwalk part of the fire escape. Does not pass, cannot proceed to a load test at this time. And but I'll start with part 2 of what's going on down below. Fire escape engineers, part 2 of this Washington DC inspection. So we have a ladder system that's all welded. As you can see, it's popped through and welded. So this is going to be an okay ladder. It's about over 18 inches wide, about a foot separation, which is good, but it's welded connections, so we need clips there. Anything that's a welded connection, regardless if you're going for the load test or for a full certification, all welded connections need to be backed up with a bolt. And then try to clean out all the connections. Anything that has rust, we've got to see this rust jacking and ice jacking happening right there, as you can see. Okay? So that all needs to be cleaned out. But this platform needs to be a double. At least 24 inches more, so you can step out into it, come over here, then you come back in. Now going down the stairs. The fire escape, again, is an all welded fire escape, so every welded connection needs to be x-rayed or load tested. But as soon as you put in a clip over here with a bolt and a bolt, no load test. Okay? So a lot of it is just marrying the welded connections, which can stay, but instead of x-raying or load testing them, we need to bolt them. See all the rust, all rust jacking, that's all got to get cleaned out. See these brackets? These brackets are through bolted, so that's good. But see the weld? On the weld, see the accumulation of rust? You got to clean all that out, and you got to put a bolt through it. As soon as you put bolts through it, these welded brackets don't need to be load tested. This one and that one on that side. All these treads are riveted, but they all got rust inside. So 100% of these treads got to come out, and then they got to be put back in with new bolts, new 3/8-inch bolts. Don't forget, this welded connection needs to be x-rayed or load test, but as soon as you put bolts in it, there's no load test. All the way down, give it a full paint job. Don't forget, we need to properly tie it to the cement at the bottom, get rid of all that rust. As you can see there, a couple of bolts in here, seal up every joint. As soon as you put everything back together, seal it with 35 to 50 year silicone, 100%. See the brackets? They're through bolted correctly, but they're welded. Pop in some bolts, seal up all the welded joints. There's no need for a load test. As soon as you egress here, there is an ability for them to get out. And so as you can see, single action requiring no special knowledge. There's no key. This is good. And so that's what you have. So as a conclusion, bracket, that platform needs to be extended 24 inches more. Railings may need to be extended up to 36 inches because they're pre-existing non-conforming. And as mentioned in the video up above, there's an activity that needs to be done. Any questions? Fire escape engineers. Inspector summary video. This is a pre-load test examination. Fire escape did not pass. Cannot proceed immediately to a load test. There's some spot repairs needed, and then we can proceed to a load test. Or if you do a full refurb, as explained in the video, this fire escape will not need to be load tested. Any questions? 866-649-0333. 866-649-0333. Inspector Cisco Meneses.